You have a thriving career. Maybe you're a high powered executive or a successful CEO, but just how much energy are you putting into taking care of yourself?
Hmm. Today, we're actually going to be focusing on entrepreneur health. Whether you are a CEO of a company or you are the CEO of your family, today we're going to be digging a deep dive and we're going to talking all about entrepreneur health and what is the price of success. Here we go, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Anna Manuel. I'm the co host of the Transform Table Talk Live here alongside Dr. Maggie Yu. And my day job is I'm a TV news anchor. So I love getting to be here with you, Dr. Maggie.
Thank you, Ann. And I'm Maggie UMD. I am a functional medicine physician. I am a peak health strategist, and I am the author of the book, 8 Out of the Box Ways to Transform Your Health Naturally.
And international best-selling author in 7 categories, I might add. So if you haven't gotten your hands on 8 Out of the Box yet, it is time to check it out. She's being modest. Thank you so much, Dr. Maggie. And you mentioned peak health strategist because really you are. I mean, can you tell us a little bit more about what does that mean?
Yeah, I really, and it ties in with this topic is that I think that we don't think of ourselves, whether you're working professionally, doing your job, whether you own a company, right? We think of ourselves as a leaders in our profession or in our workplace. We don't think of ourselves as the CEO of our health.
Mm.
And just like in business or in your profession, we have coaches, we have mentors, we have consultants, we have strategists that come in, right? We don't think about that with our health for some reason. And yet, isn't that the most important thing?
Yeah.
Because it's the quality of your life, and it is your life for all of us.
You have no business and you can't run a family unit or be a part of a successful family unit if you're not well and if you're not healthy.
Yeah. And so right now, what I like to do for everybody that's watching here, if you could type in chat, like, what are you the CEO of, right? Are you the CEO of your family? What is your profession? What do you work in? Where
what does your partner do?
What? Say again.
What does your partner do as well? We'd love to hear what kind of industries are you and your family involved in? And is it stressful? What kind of stress is that putting on your health? Do you think? What kind of health challenges are coming about for you as a result of focusing maybe too much on work and not enough on yourself? Dr. Maggie, you've worked with hundreds and hundreds of high-powered executives.
I'm loving this. Chrissy is watching from YouTube right now, and she says, hello from Pennsylvania, Dr. Maggie. I'm here for some booms.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody get ready here. Every time during our live today that you are hearing something that is an aha for you, I want you to give me a boom in the chat. Okay. And that can be the words boom, or that can be an emoji. Okay. Really important. The other thing is I want to let you guys know is that we are live here on YouTube. And so if you're watching on Facebook and from the Facebook group standpoint, we can no longer go live into the Facebook group. So I am going live in YouTube. So what I want to do is we're going to share the link to this live on YouTube. Everybody that's watching on any other platform, and we're on multiple platforms right now, hop over to the YouTube channel right now, click that link and go to YouTube, click the subscribe button and click to get notified as well. And that way, every time I go live, you guys will be notified and you will catch it. But that also reminds me though, this is going to be the last time that I will be going live on Thursday at 4 p.m. every single Thursday. Mm-hmm. And the reason is I want to switch things up.
Keep you on your toes.
I really do. I love Kimberly O is saying CEO of my life and a music business. I love that, right? What are you the CEO of? Type in chat. Let me know. Thank you, Kimberly. I'm the CEO of my body, Luis. I love that. Yes, you are. Mm-hmm. How many of you are the CEOs of your family, right?
Yep. Chrissy.
I love it.
My home.
Thank you. Thank you. What I want to say is that sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second.
Well, I think it's
why am I going not this? Why is this the times that I'm going to be going live changing? What I want to say is this: I'm here to get results. As a peak health strategist, I help people interrupt patterns. right? I don't want them to passively be recipients. I don't want you to be the passenger. I want you to be the captain, El Capitan. I want you to be the driver. I want you to be the leader in this, right? And so what I noticed that is that people who take action, right, who actually make an effort to do something are the ones who gets results. So what I notice is as I've been over the years going live between, every single Thursday at 4 p.m., I noticed something, and I noticed a pattern is that people start to get complacent. They expect like, oh, I'm going to be seeing this every single Thursday at this time, almost like an entertainment channel, right? I'm not here to entertain. I'm here to literally save your life and the quality of your life because I know I can and I know you can. And I want to work with people and I want to have people who want to do that take action. Action is steps that you do. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to spice things up. I'm still going live, but how this is going to work is that when I do go live, there might be an announcement. And if there's an announcement, you'll get notified on YouTube if you subscribe and ring the bell right there. By the way, if you're on YouTube and you're watching this right now, put boom in the comments.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. And you get to write a double boom if you're not only watching, but you've also subscribed.
Give me a double boom on that one. So what I'm going to do is I will, sometimes I will be notifying you guys on YouTube, maybe a day before, or even a couple hours before. So then you will know and you'll be notified and you add when I'm live. Other times I'm going to do spontaneous lives. Would you like some spontaneity, everybody? And if you would, yes, right. Then I'm going to be doing some spontaneous lives because I feel like it. And the only way you're going to get notified is if you ring the bell. Okay, subscribe and ring the bell to get notified.
Almost everybody's given us a boom boom, so we've got a lot of subscribers, and thank you because hopefully you find this information just as helpful as you were hoping. I mean, you come here for a reason, and it's because Dr. Maggie is really giving you something that makes you think and that you can take actionable steps with. So, Dr. Maggie, I want to hear more about why is it that you wanted to focus on the successful entrepreneur today?
Yeah. So those of you who've been watching and following me for the last almost 10 years know that what we do is we offer a whole range of products and services at all different ranges in price point and level of service, different things that we do. There's anywhere from, the free book. By the way, if you haven't, I'm going to say, if you're watching right now and you want a copy of my book, I'm going to gift it to you. If you want the book, type book in chat. And we have a link with which, if you're watching right now, you can click that link and you can get my book. Okay, number one, it goes anywhere from free book, right? We have supplement protocols, we sell supplementation, we have workshops and boot camps, right? All the way from programs where people implement and they get supported with implementation, all the way to our executive concierge programs. So we have a wide range of programs, right? And what I've noticed when I looked is that we haven't really dedicated any time to really looking at what is that executive concierge program that executives need. I have not talked about it in socials at all, even though it is a large part of what we do. Mm-hmm. And so I want to dedicate some time to speaking about that along with the other services that we offer. Can we agree that we want to just spend one live? Because out of the last 10 years, I don't think I've done a single live dedicated to the executive, right? Can we all agree we can dedicate one live to that? Yeah. And I'm going to say about a month ago, I attended a business conference and where we had leaders in the industry give a ton of talks and trainings. And I was there and I was leading some of these groups. And one of the things that I noticed was that the people who were on the stage and the people who were leading these groups, including myself, were entrepreneurs, right? And there was a big, you're like, oh my God, they're really successful in A, B, C, D, and E. And yet when it came to health, trust me, people clamored over, but it was almost on the download, low, because I saw this thing where there was a huge disparity between their professional level of confidence and execution versus their health and personal health confidence.
So it's like they were putting all of their energies and efforts into their business, into their career, and then completely letting their own personal health fall by the wayside, not seeking it out proactively. And in fact, in many cases, it sounds like being way behind the game and dealing with an illness or a family member dealing with an illness and not getting the help they need.
But this isn't just about them. I'm going to tell you why. Every single one of these people at this conference owned businesses that employed minimum of 3,000 employees.
Who rely on them.
That's the piece that's missing, is people don't realize, was the level of impact that their somebody in their family, their chronic health symptoms had on their businesses, that they didn't realize, that as we talked, was staggering. Meaning, how many of you guys are employed, right?
Mhm.
And if you are employed, right, how many of you, think about the bosses or the people that are, the owners of these companies. Think about it. How much do you think their health, mental health, has impacted upon the number of jobs, the stability of jobs, your desire to stay at that job, your productivity? Like, there's a huge impact entrepreneurs have on the rest of the people, everybody else, right? So this applies to you. And if you don't know, you yourself a non-entrepreneur, maybe your spouse is, and maybe you know one. And if you know one that could benefit from this, tag their name in chat right now. Go ahead in the comment, just tag them who could benefit from learning about this. But it is worth some time dedicated to talk about them and their health, because it impacts thousands and thousands of families.
And so I'm very interested to hear a little bit more about your experience at this conference, because it sounds like maybe there was one speaker in particular who inspired you to want to bring that up, that story. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, there's many stories, because we've worked with many executives. We work with CEOs, we work with Olympic athletes, we work with performers, we work with people who are high impact in their industries, right?
Mhm.
And the stories, I'm going to share one story here, and it's surprising when people think about it. So I have this is I have an owner, a female owner of a construction firm.
Mhm.
Interesting, right? And she, has been struggling with, and if I name the buildings or the projects or the venues that they've done, you would know. And so, really a leader in her industry, really well respected in her space, and a great speaker, right? And yet struggling with Crohn's, okay, which is an autoimmune disease attacking her gut. And not only was she struggling with Crohn's for 20 years, right?
Mhm.
And one of this, and she speaks at some of these conferences, right? And not only was she struggling with Crohn's for 20 years, like, she, interestingly, like, if you listen to her talk, you would never think that this would be her approach to her health.
Hmm.
Like, think,
She's such a take charge person when
yeah,
it comes to business.
that's the shocking disparity, is if you saw how she ran her business and how she is on stage, and then you saw the level of confidence in her approach in her health, it is like that. The difference between that and that is huge,
Mhm.
right? And yet that is the typical approach that we take in health. I remember asking her, like, what do you think your level of health confidence is from a scale of 0 to 10? And she said 3.
Wow. But I bet she's not alone. I mean, that probably is typical.
Right? And I'm going to ask you guys, though, think about yourself, everyone here in the audience. If I were to ask you, what is your level? Yeah, let's do this. What is the level of confidence you feel professionally? Think
Mhm.
of that number. And then think about the next question, which is, what is your level of health confidence? The level of confidence that you are the leader in your health and in your body. Think about that number and write it down. Put professional, give the number, health, give the number. And the gap we see, and that I saw, was huge. But I'm interested in polling our audience. I'm asking you to survey right here, is what is that for you? Right?
Scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the most confident professionally and health wise, and 1 being the least. What are you professionally, comma, what are you with your health? That
Yeah.
is interesting, because I think about myself. And prior to meeting you and learning so much from you, I had a huge disparity.
Right. Yes.
And I know I'm not alone. And that woman who is leading a business, leading your conference as a speaker, she had a very, very huge disparity. And
And
so
behind the scene, the level of suffering and the price that it had on her business was huge. And
Mhm.
we had a very frank conversation that I'm going to share with you guys to really think about.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to share this conversation, because we talked about the top symptoms that she had, right? And the level of health confidence was a level 3, and the symptoms were invisible to the front,
Yeah.
right? Pain,
Yeah.
right? brain fog, fatigue, insomnia, anxiety, panic attacks, right?
Right. So
Like, think
nobody
about
gets it when they look at this person, they don't understand.
right. And so when you but the question I asked was, what do you think has been like the symptoms were like level 8, 9, 10, right? And I said, and a really critical question for us is, what has been the cost to her business with those symptoms where they're at?
Mm,
Just even the last 3 years. You guys think about that. In the last 36 months, right? Look at Agnes right there. Professional confidence level 10. Her health confidence is 3,
yeah, April tells a similar story here.
right? Professional 9, health confidence 2. This is what we see is that disparity, right?
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is people don't realize that we have to pay attention to our health. This is to me, this to me is the assault on the professional, is the lack of competency and confidence in leading, being the leader and CEO of their health.
Mhm. And
Like,
here's somebody who's worked with you. Health is a 10. Hi, Barbie.
you can get there, right? Everybody can get there, right? There is a pathway for that, right? But that's the issue. And I think about, right, and I asked the question, I said, what has been the dollar value in the last 36 months because these symptoms are where they're at?
Yeah,
Do you want to know the dollar value of this?
right.
For her, it was $15 million.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And how does that calculate just because of lost what?
And we don't need to have $15 million, right? But interestingly, let's break it down. Like, and I've had this conversation with other business owners. I recently, just last week, had another conversation where it was $1.2 million.
Oof.
And why did that number, at first it was like, oh no, nothing, my employees are working still, and even though I'm sick, everybody's working. And I was like, well, wait a minute. I was like, what, like, really, let's think it through, because people think that I'm a successful entrepreneur, even though my symptoms are 6, 7, 8, and they're invisible, and my employees are still working and my business is still functioning. Therefore, there isn't a cost. Not true.
Not
Because
true.
because let's ask each of ourselves these questions. Number one is, not there's direct and there's indirect cost of having these symptoms. So
Yeah.
direct cost could be, yes, for us is healthcare spending,
Mhm.
right? You're spending money, right? So you're spending hard-earned money that you've made, and this is, post, for those who own businesses, this is after tax money, right? So there's direct healthcare spending, number one, which for many people is a lot. Okay. Number two, direct spending would be time off work, time off away, not earning a salary, not earning an income, right? But the problem is, it's the indirect that people aren't aware of. And I want you guys to start thinking outside the box of what are some of the indirect costs. And if you can think about what is the indirect cost to a business, right? What is the indirect cost to your family of the CEO of that family or that company being sick?
Well, I can think of one off the top of my head, and it's something about thinking with your head, because if you're not feeling well, maybe you're not clear-headed, that's maybe not making the best business decisions, and
This
that's
is
an indirect cost.
That is huge. Think about this, right? Because what is invisible? Fatigue, brain fog,
Yeah.
insomnia, depression, anxiety, right? Under those invisible symptoms, right? What do you think happens to your productivity? Think about this: productivity, your personal productivity, number one, right? Your decision making, your ability to be strategic, to
Mhm.
make strategic decisions in your business, right? And how do you guys think that impacts on the projects that you're able to get, close, work,
Mhm.
right?
The
Plan.
relationships. If you're not feeling your best, you're not able to form the same kind of a relationship you would form if you were feeling great.
Well, and to me, this also goes into leadership. Leadership. CEOs of your family or of your business are not, how has that impacted on your ability to lead your employees? They might be working, but are they being led and are they growing?
Mhm.
I talked to a business owner today that actually said, we lost a key employee because I wasn't leading in the capacity I would have for the last couple of years. We
Wow.
lost this employee, which is a key man in our business, because he wanted to grow.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to provide the leadership for this person to grow.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
What does that cost that business of a key employee who needed to grow because you weren't the leader? And think about, if you're the leader, CEO of your family, is what is the leadership that your children or your spouse may need for you, right? Because your leadership contributes to their growth,
mhm.
right?
So
So, mhm.
what should these people be doing, Dr. Maggie? I mean, what is the way that you would advise them to take charge of their lives in the same way they're taking charge of their business?
I think that importantly is the idea is around time, time, time. I think that one of the biggest things when I'm talking to individuals, period, is I don't want you to waste your time, and I don't want to waste yours.
Hmm.
Right? I really don't want you to waste your time. Don't waste mine, vice versa. Right? Uh, because people think about time as being limited. Right? People think about time as being limited. You also, when time passes, is something that you can't buy back, no matter how much money you have. Right? If
True.
it's right, you can't buy back your child's childhood, or something you like in that sense. But that being said, is you absolutely, in a lot of, to me, in a lot of ways, is you can absolutely get more time.
Okay.
You absolutely can get more time.
That's intriguing.
It is. You can get more time, because here's the deal: is time spent suffering is time lost.
Yeah,
Time spent being mentally absent or disturbed in some way or distracted is time lost.
it's true.
Right?
And the point hits home for any parent, like you had mentioned, like time away from your child. You're missing precious moments because you don't feel well, or
Mhm.
because you don't have the energy to focus both on business and on family.
Right. And so for me is that we want, if you feel healthy, right? If you feel healthy, right? Wouldn't you actually be creating more and more quality time, not only for you, but for everyone around you and even your employees? You're actually creating a almost limitless amount of opportunity for more time and more quality time, right? So for me, it's really important for people to, what is it going to take for me to get from A to B?
Hmm.
And how can I compress that time so I don't waste my time, waste my efforts, waste my money? I think the ability to compress time is really critical, right? Make the distance between A and B shorter, more effective. Tired of doing the wrong things?
Yeah.
And how many of these people, and you out there as well, is how many people have actually invested money, right, in tons of alternative health topics, or their time watching YouTube after YouTube after YouTube and alternative health methods, right? And
Tell
if
us in the
they
comments, because I know I'm not alone in being one of those people who have spent late night hours, researching this online, or visited doctors in other states. I know I have, or several in my own state. Who else is out there who is like me and Dr. Maggie? Because she's done it too. She had to actually to develop a system for herself, and she did, thank goodness. But how many of you out there are like me, that you traveled, you've gone to see how many doctors, how many specialists, then you've spent how many countless hours on the internet looking for
well,
help?
and if it worked, that's a really worthwhile investment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? But if it didn't, then it was not a good investment of your time or money. And that's the thing, is how do you keep from doing the wrong things, spending precious time and money doing the wrong thing, right? And how do we shorten that time? Do you want to get better? I always tell people, do you want to get better in 2 years, or do you want to get better in 2 months?
Uh,
Which one's worth more?
2 months, thank you.
She's like, yes. Right. So for me, is really important is I compress time. I don't want to waste your time. I compress time. Somebody tells me I got ABC. I want to get better in 2 months. I need to get better. I want to get the shortest period of time doing all the right things. What is that worth to you to compress that time to get there? Right.
Yeah.
Right. So the other piece of this is, I was talking interestingly, about, somebody said, what kind of outcomes, like what kind of outcomes do people get? And you weren't in the calls, but this week, just in our training calls alone, we've had what I call 4 cane burning parties.
Oh, like we suddenly can walk?
Yes. So think about that. Like, so let's think of mobility as an issue. So we work a lot with people with autoimmune diseases. We work with people with POTS, dysautonomia, mast cell histamine intolerance, you know, autism spectrum in kids. Like we have a lot of different types of people we work with. Like, because it's not even just the entrepreneur. What about the family member? I want to ask actually anybody out here is who is not themselves the person, or maybe you are, but who has a family member in their family that's struggling with a difficult chronic health diagnosis that has been untreatable otherwise? Type in chat.
Mhm.
Okay.
And a
Right?
lot of people, it's their health and it's a family member's health, or maybe there's multiple family members in your unit that are all
Well,
dealing with something.
this reminds me of employees. So this is an interesting thing for me is, do you know that the health of your business is directly a reflection to the health of the business owner? Your business can only be as healthy as you are.
That makes sense.
Your business can only grow to the extent you're growing in your health confidence.
Mm.
Direct correlation. Okay?
So it's important to make that investment in
Well,
yourself.
but wait, but hold on. I mean, I want to pause on that for a second. And I'm going to ask the audience right here. Do you know that your health, and think about even in your family, right? If you're the CEO of your family, right? Your health and where that level is, it's going to be where your business health is going to be stuck. And it's not just you, it's your employees. It's your employees. I recently, like about 4 months ago, we have a business owner who owns a chain of restaurants,
Mhm.
right? And one of the things that he and she did is they said, you know what? The health of our employees, not only like in the restaurant business, for example, like food allergens, food safety,
Mm.
is huge. So I do corporate trainings with restaurants, right? And restaurant business owners, right? About how important food safety is, food allergens is, digestive issues, like education of employees has been, right? And what we did was we actually did a corporate training where we actually taught their top management staff on how important and why such a food safety, and why are we getting more and more food reactions? Why is
Wow.
food allergies more and more big of a thing? And how come everybody is talking about mast cell and histamine intolerance? I did a corporate training for their top managers in their business, right?
I love that they wanted to do that.
They did. So this is CEO of a company that employed hundreds of employees that said, I am good. Not only am I investing in my own health and my own health confidence, but you know what? It directly impacts my business. So can you, Dr. Maggie, can you come in and educate my top managers around this,
Mm.
around the medical and the science evidence base behind this and why it's happening and why it's important for them to know, not just roll of the eyes, we got to deal with a gluten-free menu or this or that, right? This is way more than that.
Well, and
So,
it's also good for business.
well,
It's
this is what happened. This is what I'm trying to tell you. What happened is that as I was doing this, um, it really came out that a lot of the employees themselves, these are the leaders in their business, had these very same health issues themselves and didn't realize and understand the science behind it, what they can do about it, that they can raise their own health confidence about this, not just for themselves, but for their families.
so they were having light bulbs. They weren't even there for this purpose,
It was like
and they're having
bada
their own
bing, bada
personal light
boom.
bulbs going off.
Yeah. And what was cool around that was that both the employees and the business owner decided to collaborate together to have all the employees actually join one of our programs, to the My Food Mapping Masterclass, so that they themselves could get their food sensitivity tested. They themselves can learn about digestion. Themselves can understand what is allergic, what is non-allergic food reactions, and how this is linked to other problems in their health, that is totally connected with these food issues. So it was interesting because, you're talking about a business owner transforming not only their own health, but their health of their customers and the health needs of their employees. Because think about that is, as a business owner, how do you think the health of you now influencing the health of your employees impact on the health of your business in terms of productivity, the amount of sick leave, the amount of innovation and creation, right?
How about customer satisfaction?
and employee team satisfaction,
What?
right? Think about that. If you are working for someone and they're investing in their own health and they are paying it forward and investing in your health, how much is that paying it forward going to impact your health, your family's health? Because think about all these employees that are receiving my food mapping masterclass, right? They're contributing, receiving, and engaging in this. What is the impact on them with, affecting their team and the customers, but also with their own families? They're the CEO of the family. Because how many of them said, "Oh wow, my kid has pandas, right? Pans and pandas. My kid has juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. My kid has ADD,
Sensory processing.
right? My husband has ADD, right? My husband has cardiovascular disease, obstructive sleep apnea. Oh my God, I had no idea food was actually related to that.
Mm.
Like, I freaking love those light bulb moments when people suddenly realize that when I invest in raising the level of my health confidence to match the level of my professionalism, holy cow, does that raise the level of the quality of our lives, the amount of quality time that we have, paying it forward and forward, and it just expands.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, so many of the people who I've interviewed who have worked with you directly that are among these high-powered workers have said that. Some of them have had to step away from their job because they
Yeah,
had gotten sick and
yeah.
then were able to go back to work and lead the charge and be thriving. One woman I interviewed said she had to hire a full-time assistant to come in and basically be her brain because her brain fog had gotten so bad. You
Can
did
I,
it too. You had to do the same thing.
can I share my story? Do you guys want to hear my story on this?
Yes.
Type in chat if you want to hear Dr. Maggie's story. Type in chat Dr. Maggie's story. I actually want to talk about this on my business. So yeah, you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Inquiry minds want to know, everybody?
Yes. And Barbie says she was guessing that previous people you were talking about was P&M. She's right? The restaurant
I'm
owner.
going to go there.
Yeah,
Right. So let's talk Dr. Maggie's story, right, everybody?
Dr.
Right.
Maggie's story.
Right. So when I was dealing with the peak of my autoimmune disease, I owned a functional medicine clinic in Oregon that had 8 providers and 12,000 patients. Okay. And I went into huge flare. I went into a huge flare of my autoimmunity with chronic pain and neuropathy, severe. And it severely impact and you guys know my story with early menopause and hormones and all that, right?
Mhm.
So not only did I go into early menopause, but at the same time, we know autoimmunity and hormones are linked. And that's why we have a hormone program, everybody, my hormone masterclass, right? And so by the way, if you want the hormone checklist in our guide, type in chat, okay? The impact of my autoimmune flare on my hormones was huge. And as a result, I was having severe insomnia. I
Mhm.
was having severe hot flashes and panic attacks. So the anxiety and panics went through the roof to the point where my physical health and my hormonal health came crashing down. And I got to the point where, and you guys, do you see how sharp I am right now?
Mhm.
Where the decision making is all that? I got to the point where I couldn't function. Like I couldn't function where physically the pain was so bad in my hands, the neuropathy was so bad, I couldn't type and chart. Physicians have to type and chart, right? And this was before we had somebody to come in and transcribe and all that. I had to hire a full-time physician to work with me so that they could be my arms, my typist, and also the ability to go room to room to do all the work that I did at the cost of $200,000 a year,
Whew.
right?
And not only the financial cost, but I imagine the professional pride took a hit as well.
Absolutely for me. I mean, I was able to keep it invisible for a period of time, but there's a certain period of time when you can no longer be invisible. And there was a cost because I had to hire another employee. And, for me, I'm a doctor. Like my brain is my value. Right. And how many of you have jobs that is because of all of this, right? Some of us have manual jobs, right? For me, it's all here, right? It started to impact that.
How sharp you are, knowing and seeing how quick and how sharp you are, and how you're able to solve problems for so many others like that. It is hard to imagine you in the state that you are describing.
I couldn't drive, Ann.
Gosh.
My health confidence at that point got so low in myself, I couldn't even drive. There was 6 months I didn't even drive. I was scared to get into a car. So I've lived this. I've lived through this. So that's why when I was at this conference and all these entrepreneurs coming up, when we were talking about this, I was like, we got to talk about this. There is a huge, huge cost to having such a low level of health confidence in our health, right? And Alexander says, I was an electrician before I got POTS and Good Days. Some people are losing their careers as a result of this. And electricians, how much with POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, which affects your positioning, your vertigo with positional changes, right? So think about that as we have a lot of different kinds of jobs right here. Some of it is here, but there's physical aspects to our job that we need to medically function in as well, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, having experienced that, I wanted to really bring it to light that this whole thing with entrepreneurs and professionals who are successful, right? If you judge that your health confidence is below a 5 and your professional confidence is high, that disparity is not just, it's hurting you, it's hurting your business, right? It's really the bottleneck that's preventing your business from higher performing, scaling, growing, right? You're holding it back. And the key is that we have to collectively raise all our own level of health confidence from 0 to hero. How do we cut the time it takes from a level 3 to level 10? I want everybody who's an alumni who's watching right now, okay? If you're an alumni and you're watching, or you're currently in one of our programs, I want you guys to write down where your previous health confidence was and where it is today. And some people are in programs right now, so they're just in the process. Some people have been through our programs, whether it's our transform programs or executive programs. Type in chat like where are you at today? So I think that in 2024, as an entrepreneur, we cannot afford to not pay attention to our health because we are the CEO of our health. There are many forces external to us we can't control.
Yeah.
It's true.
Paula says she went from a 1 to a 10. That's the story. That's the story you hear from so many people.
And you guys, those of you in the audience know, and Paula can share in the chat what she was struggling with, the health challenges she was struggling with. So she had a major autoimmune issue, right? And she could put in there, and that was, deemed almost untreatable by her doctors, life-threatening, in fact, right?
Yeah. And Emma and Joe both went from a 0 to a 9. And Emma might even say she's at a 10.
And the thing is, think about this. You wouldn't run your business with a confidence of 3. You wouldn't run your family with a confidence of 3 or 0.
You would be out of business and your family would be crumbling.
Right? So how critical and how important it is to focus on health now in 2024, especially in a time of financial, there's people like the elections are coming up. This is like the, recession, all this stuff. I know, right? There are all these forces you can't control. But the thing you can control is yourself. The thing you can control is yourself. And remember, the CEO I was talking about in the last 3 years, that was $15 million loss. Last week, the entrepreneur was $1.2 million in the last year alone that they lost as a result of lost projects, right? So doing nothing and staying with your health confidence at a 0 or a 3 or even a 5 is unacceptable, because that's an unacceptable amount of financial loss and productivity loss, in your business. So what's the fastest way to cut through that is, you know what? Let's cut through that. Let's get you educated. Let's get you to results, right? We have a proven process for raising 0 to hero, 0 to 9, 0 to 10.
Dr. Maggie, there's so many different ways to work with you and learn from you. And many people know about your programs, your programs that may involve, food mapping or hormones,
right,
or your entire transform program. But I think there's additional ways to work with you that a lot of people don't know about.
I agree. And that's why for me, we focused on this today. We have an executive concierge program, for people who are, high performers, high impact leaders in their industry that really I don't want to waste any time. I want to like use my time really effectively, concisely, get me everything that I need done to cut the line to get to those results. And so I want you guys to be aware of that. You know, when I mentioned that, a lot of people are like, I didn't know you had that. I didn't know you had that. And I was like, yeah, we do. So I just wanted to let people know that the degree, the time it takes, the level of, time that you want to take to get there and investment of your time to get there, there's a whole slew of range of possibilities there. But we don't know until we talk to you.
Mhm.
We don't know until we talk to you. So you know what? Cut the line and talk to us. Literally cut the line, book a, just get on the phone, talk to us. And once we figure out what it is that you need, the time frame, the amount, that will help us form a personalized plan. And that's what we do. We form personalized plan. No matter where you're at, there is a plan. There is a resource that we can share with you. So I would absolutely say book a call with our team.
Do you want to get into any more details about your executive concierge program, or do you want to leave that until
It's so personalized that I would say that it's really for it's I would say that get on a call with us because not every single person in that program, and we don't have room for a lot of individuals in that program, and that's why for me, I would say that we customize it. No one person in that program that looks the same.
Well, I love to hear that you're able to customize things. And you mentioned that there's a level and that there is an entry point for everybody because ultimately it's about working with people who want to take charge, working with people who want to make a difference in their lives. And you're able to provide that. You want to work with people who want to be there, who want to get
Yeah.
results.
This is a really cool conversation. I'm going to ask you guys this. One of the things I'm thinking about is a lot of people don't realize we have different journeys in our like that you can take working with us. And I want to ask, like, would it be worthwhile for you guys to, because we're work like I'm would it be nice to have one document that actually like one pager where you can take a look and you can say these are the journeys that with working with Dr. Maggie and Transform team that I can take for different types of individuals and problems.
Yes.
I call that a one page. Would it be cool to have a one page so you guys are clear on like, the different kinds of journeys that you can take with us and with
Yeah.
Transform, right?
Like Barbie says, she wished she would have realized that a year ago. She would
Yeah.
love to do that.
Yeah, sure. So, okay, then I'm going to put it on my list to do with our team. We're going to come up with a one pager of the different types of journeys that you can take with Transform. So, yeah, that's going to be coming. I like this.
Yeah.
Cindy said yes. Okay, I love it. All right, everybody. Like I said, this is going to be the last live that we're going to be doing every Thursday at 4 p.m. It's not the last live. So right now, I'm going to ask you to do one thing, okay? Either number one is if you want to work with us, feel free to book a call with our team. We've opened up some additional space in our calendar to talk to you tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday. So get on that list to talk to us. I would love to know more about you. For everybody else, the second thing I'm asking you to do is this. My next live is yet to be announced. And the only way you're going to find out and the only way you're going to keep tabs on the spice that's coming at you is going to be head over to YouTube right now. We're going to provide the link again. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and ring that bell because I will notify you and YouTube will notify you whenever I'm live on that too, because I don't want you to miss what's coming because I'm telling you the next live we have, you're not going to want to miss. I promise you.
It's going to be good. I know it's coming and I'm interested to hear the discussion.
The spicy truth is coming at you guys, everybody. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring the bell, everybody.
Dr. Maggie, thanks for taking the time to really focus on this. It's something that I think has been under-focused and the services have been underutilized. And so I think a lot of people can benefit from what you had to share today. And everybody's excited about that one pager.
All right, everybody. That's a wrap. Have a wonderful day, everybody. See you on YouTube.
Bye.